This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the Pakt Everyday Tote, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. If you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. So the primary pack material that we're working with here is a 500D nylon. It is also recycled and it has a PFC-free DWR coating. So the team is semi-split on this material. Some of us find it to be soft and very nice to hold on to, and some of us find it a little bit rough. And I think that depends on which packed bag you go with, but I personally really like this material. I think it looks nice and also just kind of soft. I like how it feels and does a pretty good job at keeping water out. So moving into the hardware, we do have YKK zippers throughout. This main compartment zipper here is the beefiest YKK zipper. One thing to note is that, as you can see here, this is kind of like a little flat area. It's like a valley. So if you got caught in a torrential downpour, water could start pooling here. I only got caught in light rain when I was testing this, so it didn't really happen for me. But because it is a big beefy YKK zipper, it has 2 small holes there between the zipper heads, and if a bunch of water got in there, in theory, water could sneak inside, but I did not have that issue. So as you can see here, YKK zippers here and on the other side as well, underneath that fabric welt here, which does a little bit of good for protecting from water. Back up here on the top, we have these 2 tabs here. So these are just really kind of out of the way, and if you weren't thinking about it, you might not even notice them. But these are good for helping you open these zippers. You can kind of hold on to that if you want to, but their main use is for the strap here, which is included. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, because obviously you can see we've got these handles here. And on the strap, we have these metal clips, which are really easy to operate, and they stay hooked when you need them to stay hooked. I think that also is not just the clips there, it also has to do with how small these nubs are. So getting it on there can be a little bit slow, just because it is such a small hole, but once you get used to it, it's pretty easy to put it on and off. And then because it is so small, it doesn't really have anywhere to go, so it hangs on pretty nicely, I think. But overall, there isn't really a ton going on here. On this back side here, you might not even be able to tell right now because of how well it's designed, but this is a luggage pass-through. So your luggage pass-through goes right through here. It's pretty tight right now because I have so much stuffed inside this tote, but there are magnets on here as well. As you can see, there's a little hole there, so that keeps it secured and just kind of, out of the way. You can't really tell that it's there necessarily. So I really like how this is designed. There's a pocket on top of it, and you can't fit as much inside of there when you're using the luggage pass-through, but overall I think it's really well designed and stays out of your way when you're not using it, which is another reason I like these little tabs up here as well. I'm just gonna throw this strap on now. So this pack right here goes on the upside so you can see it, and also make sure that this buckle in the middle, or the adjuster I should say, is facing the right way. So we have 3 different ways you can carry this bag. We have this set of handles here. So this is the longer set of handles that you can kind of carry it with a little bit further down, or you can throw it over your shoulder. Get those out of the way. We have a smaller set of handles down here, and this is just for your hand. You're not really gonna, I guess you could fit your arm under there, but I don't know necessarily why you do that. That's when you're kind of like, run and gun, or maybe you're jumping on public transit or something like that. You can hold on to it, getting on the airplane, something like that. And then we obviously have this strap here as well, which is included, and you can adjust it fairly easily because it is metal, just pretty easy, quick to do, especially once you get used to it. But one thing to note about all of these options is that there is not really any padding. So this is 2-ply material, at least it feels like that. So there is a little bit of inherent padding, but there's no padding, no aeration. So if you, are carrying this for a really long time, or you loaded this up with really heavy stuff, these hand grips might dig in a little bit, or if you're wearing these on your shoulder, it might dig in a little bit. And then you also have this one, the shoulder strap or crossbody strap, that could dig in as well. So the nice thing is there are 3 different options, so you can kind of transition between the 3, but if you're carrying this all day and you really have it packed out, it might get a little bit uncomfortable, but for the most part, I found it to be pretty comfortable because you can't fit, too much stuff inside of here. So this is how I found myself wearing this tote most of the time. It was what was most comfortable for me, but I will say I only once or twice took it on longer journeys. So this was typically, just going to the car or maybe to the bus or something like that, just nice, quick and easy. For the longer journeys, I did typically let a little bit of more strap out. Sorry if I just hit the mic there. and carried it like this because it just was a little bit closer to my body. I didn't have to hold it so much, and I was kind of more hands-free. But if you kind of get sick of either of those methods, you obviously can take it off and then just carry it like this at your side. I'm not sure how well you can see that. Then obviously you have the longer straps as well. So you can transition between those three options pretty quickly and easily. I will say when you are using just these handle options, this is kind of annoying because it kind of just flaps around a little bit. So you probably want to take that off when you're doing that. But having the option to just throw it on your shoulder, again, this is probably my favorite way to wear this thing and just the easiest for me personally. So I will say when it comes to getting inside this thing as well, this strap can kind of get in the way sometimes, and also sometimes the handles a little bit too, especially this main compartment. If it's all kind of up there, you got to move things around. So if you get to your hotel room or whatever, and you're not going to take this out until the next day, I think it's easier to just pop the strap off, and as you can see, pretty easy and quick to do. And this thing's pretty small too, so you can stow it inside the bag without taking up too much room. So on the luggage pass-through, trolley sleeve, whatever you want to call it back here, there is a pocket. And because I have this thing so packed out right now, and I wanted to show you that you can stick something through there, I don't have anything actually inside of here right now because there just isn't that much room to do so. If you have a very flat item, it will fit inside of here, like a book or something like that, and even a too thick of a book might not be able to fit inside of there. Right now, as you can see, I can get a little bit of separation there, but obviously that separation is going to go away once you stick a luggage or a luggage handle through there. So I don't have anything in there right now, and typically I didn't find myself using this very much. It just wasn't very useful for things that I carry. I don't typically carry a book or anything like that. Most of my media is through a computer or tablet or something like that. So I didn't find it super useful, but I think it will be useful while traveling. If you are at the airport and you're going to need to show your passport or travel documents, you could put these inside of here. But it is worth being wary of when you do stick the luggage handle through there, that it could wrinkle something or crinkle something that's inside of there. So just be careful with what you have in there when you are attaching it to your rolling luggage. But I think it's a very intuitive luggage pass-through. I really like how they did it, and I'm actually really happy this zipper is here, even though I didn't use it a ton. So flipping over to the other side, we have another secondary compartment, and I use this one quite a bit more. So this is the one with the fabric welt I mentioned earlier. Nice because it adds that little bit of extra protection from the elements if it's raining, snowing, whatever. Got the zipper up here. I will say that welt does make it a little bit harder to get inside of this pocket, just you gotta kind of flip it over and then pop it open to see what's in there. So right now I've just got my phone stowed inside of there, a little point and shoot camera, and then my wallet in here. So it's just I think I have the tag in there too, actually. Yep, the tag for this bag. So no organization inside here or anything like that, just a big open pocket. And I actually dig that because you can stick whatever you want to put in there. So I use this as more of a quick access pocket, so I have things I might want to grab while I'm traveling, whether that be to pay for something, use my keys, my phone, point and shoot camera, or maybe I want to take this nice tag with me so I know what's going on with my bag when I arrive. So you have quite a bit of room in there, and this does have more depth than that back pocket does. As you can see, this is pretty fully packed out, but there's a lot of space there to stuff something inside of here. So even if you have a bigger point and shoot camera or something like that, you could probably still fit that inside of here. So quick access pocket, probably more better suited on this front than on the back pocket here. But either way, you can kind of do either. If you are rolling your luggage around, if you stick quick access items in here, when you stop your rolling luggage, it'll be right in front of you, so that is handy. This one will be on the other side, but at the end of the day, it's pretty easy to get into either of them. So moving into the main compartment, we go back up to this zipper here. Sorry for that construction noise outside right now if you've heard that throughout this video. But as you can see, I have this thing completely fully packed. So I'm gonna start pulling some stuff out of here so we can look at what's going on inside. So we got some packing cubes, a camera cube that I use to bring my camera around. And as you can see, it's not doing it a lot right now, but depending how you pack this thing, because of where the laptop is, it does sometimes like to fall over. If you have this thing fully packed, as I just did, it's not really gonna happen, but if you were to take a few things out, it might start to kind of slide over like that. But as you can see, you have a laptop compartment on this side here. So this is a 15-inch MacBook Pro. There is not really much wiggle room at all, so I don't think you're gonna get a computer to fit that's much larger than this. Set that aside nicely. There's a good amount of padding here, not a ton of padding, but a fair amount to where I was okay putting my laptop in here without a case. But if you are rough on your gear or you just like to be extra safe, you might want to put a case on there anyways. And then we have another, this is a tablet sleeve, but you probably could fit another small laptop or Chromebook here if you wanted to. I've just got a Kindle thrown in there right now. As you can see, it's really swimming in here, so a ton of space there. You could also put like a notebook or book or something like that. And then on the front of that, kind of hard to show you guys this because of how the top is designed, but we have a zippered pocket here. So I actually have nothing inside of this right now because I typically have most of my smaller items stowed in other items. But if you don't use a tech pouch, it's a good place to stow your tech chargers and stuff like that. Or other flat items, because it is a fairly flat pocket and it doesn't have any sort of stretch or anything like that. But there are a couple pieces of organization here that I think are helpful, so we'll talk about those. We've got a key leash here, and as you can see, it sticks out of the top of the tote, which I like because then you can, open your door or whatever, just pop it out and you're ready to go. Sometimes on backpacks, that doesn't really make much sense to me because I have to kind of take the bag all the way off to do it, so I'd rather just have a good clip to take off the keys. But that's kind of to each their own type thing, so I do dig how this pops out like that. And then over here on the bottom, it's gonna be kind of hard to show you, but there is an air tag holder, so that black thing down there, see if I can get you a better view. Down in there, that is an air tag holder. So if you have an air tag, you can throw it in there and you'll always know where this tote is no matter what. So that is a nice included feature. So we have, obviously you have to get through the main compartment zipper and then you have to get inside of this compartment or the secondary compartment zipper as well to get inside of there. So it is pretty well hidden, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I will close that up and move over to the other side here. We've got some attachment loops on either side, so they go all the way down, a bunch of small attachment loops on either side. So there is a couple pieces of packed modular gear that you can attach there, but you can use a carabiner or a strap or anything like that to kind of attach things inside of there. No biggie. I will say that if you're not planning to use that, but you do plan to stow a laptop, your laptop's gonna be much heavier than having nothing over there. So if you have a lighter load, it might tumble over like I was showing you earlier, but you can kind of combat that by putting heavy stuff in the middle like I had my camera cube in there. It's pretty heavy because I got a camera and a lens in there. But moving further into the inside, on either side we have these dividers and then a pocket on the divider as well. So I have a water bottle stowed on this side over here and then a toiletry pouch on this side over here. So I have those two things stowed in there because I like to know where they are at all times so I can get to them quickly if I want to drink a water. If I get off the plane and I want to just freshen up or something, I have my toiletry case. So this is a divider, not a pocket. As you can see, my hand sticking out there, so it doesn't go all the way to the bottom. So a smaller item might, kind of swim between the two, but if you have something big like these aren't gonna swim between the two. There's just not enough space or pressure to force it. And then as I said, there is a small pocket right here. So I didn't find myself using that very much for the same reason I didn't put stuff in another pocket. Most of my stuff's already contained inside some sort of organizer. So I just didn't find it super useful for them, especially when they're fully stuffed with something else. But overall, I do like the organization inside of here. There's enough organization to where I feel like things have a home, but it's not too much to where I feel like I can't shove a bunch of packing cubes in there. I do wish there was a way to use this other back wall without just, being completely modular. But at the end of the day, again, I'm just, used to using packing cubes, tech pouches, and stuff like that. So overall, I dig how this thing looks. I like the interior organization. And overall, I just really like this fabric. It's very nice to hold on to. So there you have it, the Pakt Everyday Tote. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.